All aboard!
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success. In terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden. We went through years of that with the Russia hoax.
We the people unite.
Dysfunction Junction.
What's your function?
Hey, everybody.
He doesn't know his function. It's
Welcome.
but or lie.
People unite.
That will get you very high.
What's up, y'all?
Hey.
What's up, my people?
Everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, all.
All right. So today we're talking about dysfunction. There's a lot of it. You think? There's a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to remind everybody that there's a lot of distraction happening right now because of the Epstein files, right? Because where there's smoke, there is fire. And in this case, we believe that. We have no proof. And so we make sure that we try to be as truthful as we can and bring the facts. But if you haven't heard the latest, let's hear a little bit from the press briefing today with Tulsi Gabbard. So let's open up with that, and then we'll have a discussion.
Oversight Majority Staff Report that was produced in September of 2020. The stunning revelations that we are releasing today should be of concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic and American voters having faith that the votes cast will count. There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail how they carried this out. They manufactured findings from shoddy sources. They suppressed evidence and credible intelligence that disproved their false claims. They disobeyed traditional tradecraft intelligence community standards and withheld the truth from the American people. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump in that election in November of 2016. They worked with their partners in the media to promote this lie, ultimately to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump and launching what would be a years-long coup against him and his administration. We're here today because the American people deserve the truth, they deserve accountability, and they deserve justice. The records that we released on Friday that were ODNI records, Senator Chuck Grassley's release on Monday of what is known as the Clinton Annex, which was an appendix to the Department of Justice.
Okay, I'm going to stop there because we don't have the actual report. But I do have some people who are talking about it. So my first question to everybody, have you seen this?
This is bullshit.
Yeah,
Yes.
I did see a little bit of it, but I was on the train. I couldn't hear it, and it was all cut up. So this is the first time I'm hearing it fully. And
It's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
We are in 2025 and we have quite a bit to deal with here. Why are we going to take this back on, and what will be the resolution? Tell me the rationale. Maybe I can understand. But the Bond villain there, I don't know who she's supposed to be.
Cruella DeVille.
That's what she looked like, Cruella DeVille.
yeah,
Go make some puppies. Go get some puppies.
Funny you mentioned that. Cruella T is the point.
Cruella DeVille.
Cruella T, yes. Doesn't make any sense to me. And we don't have money for this and that, but we're spending so much money on all this stuff that has nothing to do with anything, but it's all about him.
But she's misreading the files. The information that she's putting out there is incorrect.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. Period.
That's what she wanted it to be.
And I really want to make sure we all hold her and Blondie and Noomskull all accountable.
Jail.
He'll pardon them all on his way out.
All of them. Jail.
That's May Money's new catchphrase. Jail.
That's where they need to be.
Now,
wasn't there a meme put on Truth Social of Obama in jail too, and some other tasteless tech?
Yeah. In fact, let's look
schoolyard
at that.
crap.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jim,
Kimbo,
let's
you
look
got
at that.
something about that one?
I got it. Let's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Above the law.
No one is above the law. No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law. Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law. No one is above the law. No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law. No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So for people who are just listening, the FBI now showed up and they're arresting Obama while Trump smiles.
Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, young man.
All right, and then now it's Obama in an orange prison jumpsuit. So this clip was created by a MAGA TikTok account, and this is not a one-off that Trump did. Trump actually spent the entire weekend posting about this supposed treasonous conspiracy that Tulsi Gabbard was able to discover through some stroke of grace exactly as the Epstein scandal became a fever pitch enveloping Donald Trump. We're going to look at Trump's weekend madhouse posting spree a little bit later in the show. Now, of course, Democrats say.
Okay. Yeah. So he went on a posting spree.
It's a distraction.
So
It's
bad.
All about Epstein.
Well, you know how we say that every accusation is an admission? I think he's going to fuck around and get it found out that he also cheated in the 2016 election.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
A mess.
Yeah.
I
think
mean,
so. And go ahead, May.
No. Y'all go.
Well, it's a distraction, but I can't stand seeing that what they did with Obama. It makes me very angry, but also it actually makes me want to cry. I mean, I've never seen such disrespect to any former president.
Coming from the current president of the United States.
Everybody should sue him for defamation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
agree.
agree.
It's tasteless. It's classless.
It's so.
Especially
Obama is his nemesis. He cannot stand that he is any part of his brownness is involved in anything, and he just wants him eliminated. I don't understand that people can't see that. I mean, it's just everything he's done, anything he is, he just wants to eliminate it, and it's disgusting.
Same with Emmy Kamala.
He's jealous of Obama. He's a good-looking, smart guy. Went to Harvard. Had all the places, all the things he couldn't do as a white man. Obama did as a black man, and that can never compute correctly in Donald Trump's brain.
And people love Obama, and he can't
and
stand
people love Obama. They don't love Trump. Getting back to the pictures, Maureen, I do think that was also disgusting as well. But in all fairness, we all have to call a spade, and we're here to be fair on the show. You know, there's plenty of stuff that's tasteless that goes out with Trump that we all laugh at too, and I love them.
No, but he deserves that shit.
Not
True. He needs to be treated the way that he treats other people. I don't know why everybody goes around acting like it and just lets this motherfucker.
Oh, I'm not making
crazy
excuses
to
for
their
him.
face, man. call him a bitch to his face on national TV. I don't give a fuck, man. I can't stand this dude. And all these people are so weak. And so like all these like journalists, I wish I could get up into that White House and call every single one of them punk ass bitches up. Fuck you. Ooh,
I want to say how many
dismantle them.
They know what he's doing.
Has Biden or Obama reposted things like that?
No.
I've never seen that. I have never seen that. That's the point. That's the point.
You can't
manage
presidential.
You can have all that damn gold in the White House, but you can't purchase class.
That's right.
Correct.
Why would you even waste your time even dallying with these people? Like, I don't have time for that. Like, that is some weak shit. You know, that's just. I'm so annoyed by everything that's going on right now because I feel like it's such a simple resolution to this problem. Don't fuck with whack people and evildoers. Maybe and call people out for their shit and call them a bitch to their face and call their mama a hoe. Like honestly, like
and keep Martin Luther King's name out your mouth.
Martin Luther King.
You bringing him up too?
Yeah, he's bringing up those files.
He did.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, he did that too.
Oh my God.
And JFK's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he just released JFK file.
Right. They asked them not to release those files, and they did it anyway. So.
Right.
Well, I was on thuggery all weekend. I didn't catch up to that one.
Well, he's throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what will distract everybody from Epstein.
Well, Epstein's
distraction.
Epstein's stuck.
So, like we said,
Sure
Epstein, Underhill, I'm going to call you out right now. As you indicated, the Wall Street Journal confirms Trump in Epstein files multiple times. Not once, not twice, but over and over and over again. Let's just call a spade a spade.
And there's photos.
He a pedophile and a hoe.
I agree.
Oh, speaking of the Wall Street Journal, he's making enemies of some powerful people. Like Rupert Murdoch is not somebody you want to fuck with.
Rupert's
not the one.
Hearing about $10 billion. That man got boatloads of money.
He's so rich.
You know what, folks? What goes around comes around. Look at those that poor guy, those people that were killed by the guy from North Carolina who went up to the basement of the pizza place, that Comet Pizza or whatever, where there was no basement in the building because Hillary Clinton was holding children down in the basement for her pedophile ring. Meanwhile, he's in an actual ring on some island somewhere, and there was not even a basement in that. So that's the danger of these lies. Didn't that guy kill someone, if I'm not mistaken?
I know he had a weapon. I don't know if anyone died. I can't remember that part.
I don't remember, but I thought someone got shot. I don't know.
That is how he acts. He acts like a cornered animal.
That's right, Jay-Z. It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Jazz.
We're going to call out your statement as well. Yeah. Sorry, Kim. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
I just wanted to point out Jazzy's comment because that was very much so. She said, people like Trump are dangerous because when they feel like they can't control the narrative, they behave like a cornered animal. He's just getting more unhinged. And 100%. And thank you for being here, Jazzy, because honestly, we need more people like you part of this. Because
he should go and jump off one of those Trump towers. You hear me? Make money. He should go jump off one of those Trump towers then.
Oh my God, wouldn't we love that?
So let's switch to the Wall Street Journal a little bit and what's going on there, right? So I didn't fact check this, but Politico is usually pretty good about bringing facts. But it was stated that the White House is removing the Wall Street Journal now from the press pool.
Okay? Yeah,
of course. But let's hear, because we heard that JD Vance went to Montana, right, to visit Rupert Murdoch. Did we hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's an interesting little twist in this. And then we'll kind of come back to the Epstein a little bit.
Visit
Well,
with
let's
Rupert
hope
Murdoch,
that
who owns the Wall Street Journal, and we don't know much past that. Now, we can speculate on the contents of this meeting. There are slight reports about what could have been said, but overall, this seems to be another piece of this cover-up we've seen over the past few weeks. Let's read this. It says, J.D. Vance met with Rupert Murdoch hours before the Wall Street Journal released bombshell Trump-Epstein story. The vice president's office did not announce this trip. It was secretive beforehand, hence the excursion was seen as a surprise and prompted local speculation. Well, not only local speculation, because now we are on this story. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed. You can catch me, Adam Mockler, on CNN.
Yeah, so
It's
Adam's
offensive
good
at some
this.
point because they're just gaslighting the American people. So he said in 2021, what possible interest would the U.S. government have in keeping Epstein's clients secret? Oh, ... And then he said, if you're a journalist and you're not asking questions about this case, you should be ashamed of yourself. What purpose do you even serve? I'm sure there's a middle-class teenager somewhere who could use some harassing right now, but maybe try doing your job once in a while. So this clear contempt for the media is oozing out of J.D. Vance, even back in 2021. The funny thing is, he was responding to Jack Posobiec, who's the guy I debated on Piers Morgan. It's a very, very small world, but J.D. Vance is even more of a hypocrite. Let's read this one. He said on July 17th, forgive my language, but this story is complete and utter BS. The Wall Street Journal should be ashamed for posting it. It's kind of funny he uses the same word ashamed here that he used back here when he said they should be ashamed for not covering the Epstein story. Which one is it, bro? He then says, where is the letter? Would you be shocked to learn they never showed it to us before publishing it? Does anyone believe this sounds like Donald Trump? Yeah, I do. I mean, it wasn't something he said, it was a voiceover script, so it sounds very, very plausible, and there are many reasons why the Wall Street Journal hasn't released the actual photo. Maybe the source said they couldn't. Maybe they're holding off. There are
So he goes on, talks about a couple of reasons why this
FBI personnel were reportedly told to flag any mentions of Trump in a spreadsheet. So former FBI members, multiple of them, have reportedly confirmed that the intelligence agency frantically searched for any mentions of Donald Trump in the files on Jeffrey Epstein following the Senate Democrats' claims.
Let's hold right here, and I'll move forward. So there's a few things there, right? And he goes on to say, what are the reasons? And I want to show this one clip before we actually talk about it. Again, on this whole J.D. Vance kind of thing.
J.D. Vance had a secret meeting in Montana with the Murdochs, both Rupert and Lachlan, and there are a few theories as to why that might have been, and none of them are awesome. So, one of the most distressing would be this theory that the new reporting about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, about the birthday letter, and how it makes Donald Trump look really bad that he was swapping amateur pornography with the world's most notorious pedophile, might actually have been a plant, where they gave it to the Wall Street Journal, or the Wall Street Journal already had it and decided to run it, because this allows right-wing media to fight against the media rather than have to ask difficult questions of Donald Trump or fear the wrath of their audience if they didn't do that. I don't know for sure if I believe that, but if J.D. Vance went on Tuesday and had a meeting for just a few hours, why go to all that trouble when almost certainly anything that you were going to discuss you could do over an email or over a phone call? Meeting in person means there's not necessarily any log, at least of the communications. And so if you believe that this was a plant, I think the secret meeting with J.D. Vance provides a little bit of evidence for that. The other could be that it was an attempt to kill the story before it came out, because although it has provided a useful distraction for MAGA, I just want to remind everyone in MAGA that Donald Trump has been or was friends with Jeffrey Epstein for like 15 years, and they swapped amateur porn. So it could be that Trump genuinely wanted to kill it and dispatched J.D. Vance for that purpose. The other could be that it wasn't even specifically about the Wall Street Journal thing. It was just part of the administration's successful effort to get Fox News to shut the hell up about Jeffrey Epstein. Because, and this angers a lot of MAGA, they haven't been doing any critical commentary of it over on Fox News. Trump told right-wing media to shut up, forget about the kids and saving the children and all that, and Fox News listened. They stopped talking about Jeffrey Epstein, and MAGA should be way more angry about that than they actually are. The last theory is at the same exact time like the most mundane but also the most worrying, that it wasn't about Epstein at all, And it was just the administration meeting up with a billionaire, a couple of billionaires, on how they're going to message leading into the midterms or whatever, because they have a chummy relationship because they're working for the same people. And so that's not about Epstein. It's not about a cover-up. So it might seem like kind of boring, and yet, despite the fact that he's ensnared in all of this billionaire could be like, yeah, no, we'll just work together on more tax cuts and deregulation. Who the hell cares about the pedophiles and all that stuff? We can make money together.
Yeah. So, kill the story. Some people think that he's going behind to maybe push for 25th Amendment. That story's been floated out there because there's a story that he and Thiel went there back in May. Some people think he may have given Wall Street Journal the story, right? Or what he's saying. Maybe it's just about the money. What do you think?
Why would you fly all the way to Montana to talk to some? He could talk to Rupert anytime. And if Rupert's company's the one that put it out, I don't understand what he's doing, because you got Fox News over here saying nothing. And you have him up. It just doesn't make any sense, but they definitely go in there to try to quash this or make some kind of backroom deal.
Well, I'm hoping Rupert got pissed off and pushed it obviously through in the Wall Street Journal, and will turn back on Fox and command Fox to start reporting on it or stepping up to be real journalists again, if they ever were.
The thing about this guy, Trump, is he has me rooting for the worst people. I'm out here rooting for fucking Elon Musk to take him out. I'm rooting for Rupert Murdoch to take him out. I can't stand either of these people. But if it means he's gone, thank God.
That's another thing. Be careful what you wish for.
At the side with the Green Goblin.
If they take him out, I'll support them until that happens, and then it's back to the fuck with both of them.
Right.
We don't have to worry.
Yeah.
3 more burgers and he will be taken out.
I think Rupert's being strategic.
Don't they have a triple Big Mac?
Yes, I think we need to send a couple.
And JD Vance, I don't know what he's doing. He's a creepy
I posted it as JD 2028. Project
Right.
2025.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what's going
Money.
on.
Let's hear from May Money, guys.
Well, so you know what? Before I even met you guys, me and my mom kind of had this weird feeling about JD Vance. Like, I don't know if you guys know that he was like, said that Trump was the next Hitler and woo woo woo, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember that, right? Okay, cool.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm just like I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I always felt very weird about JD Vance. Even before like I met every single one of y'all before, like something about him seemed like he was an operative.
Yeah, he got his own agenda.
Like he has some whole something going on. It might not be for good, but it's definitely against Donald Trump. I would have to guess that whatever the fuck he got going on is not for the president. Maybe he wants to be president, or honestly, maybe he was like maybe he might be a SEAL Team 6 or something, like some sort of agent. I don't know. Something about him just kind of like I just had iffy vibes about him from
Elon Musk gave Trump all that money, and because he had to have him as his running mate.
Peter Thiel. We have to remember though that Vance is heavily tied to Peter Thiel.
Yeah, Thiel and
Peter
Musk.
Thiel is the money behind JD Vance. And Peter Thiel and that whole group, Musk, right?
They wanted JD Vance for vice president.
Absolutely, Jazzy.
And Project 2025. So those
Mhm.
are things we do have to keep in mind.
That's
But
right.
Keisha, this one's for you. This was from Musk. Wow, I can't believe Epstein killed himself before realizing this whole thing was a hoax. That is kind of interesting comment, right?
See my homie Pace Forts in the house.
Hey.
want to.
Well, this whole thing goes, smack in the face of the evangelicals and the Christians and everybody else. And, you can't hide from that. You can hide from that stuff from so long, but at one point, they have to look at their own religion, they look at their own God and look at their own beliefs and say, well, wait a minute, this is a step, a bridge too far. And we haven't seen that happen yet because they keep turning and looking the other way. Now, I felt like May I don't know exactly what you're saying, May, about J.D. Vance. Do you feel like he's going to flip, like he's a Democratic operative or something? Because I used to feel that way.
Honestly, I kind of felt that way a little bit. Like he might be a straight up op, you know?
I felt like Trump, when Trump got in, I was like, oh, because don't forget, he didn't even declare himself as a Republican until, during the, when he was already running, at the last minute, he declared himself a Republican. And, for most of the decades that we knew him prior to that, he was as liberal as anybody else. Maybe not liberal, but he was a Democrat, and he was, he didn't care about gays or blacks. Well, I think he always cared about blacks. I shouldn't say that because that comes from his father. But, he was a little more Hollywood, if you will.
Well, I tell you what, if he's going to end up being revealed as some kind of underground operative, that's going to make season 7. Woo! Because this is a whole production. I can't wait.
Because, guys, you guys talking this conspiracy. However, MAGA is not going for it. I hate to tell you. Let's just bring it right back around. MAGA is not going for J.D. Vance. His ass is only there because of Trump's son, not for MAGA. MAGA don't trust him. MAGA has no respect for J.D. Vance. And the proof is in the pudding. Give it
They made him make him vice president. So I don't
know. He went along with the ticket because Trump asked him to come along because
he will never carry the sauce that Trump is
vice president.
Let's remind all of us about the comment that Trump made when in the late 80s or 90s that if he were to run for president, he would run as a Republican because they're dumb.
That's right.
Because they would believe all of his lies and he could spread it on Fox News.
And that's what he said.
They eat it up. That's exactly what he said.
And let's not forget about the comment he made just this year or last year about J.D. Vance. That would you endorse him as the president? I don't know if I would endorse him. Remember?
And he was Hitler.
Correct.
So let's stay on this topic just a little bit longer. I want to hear more from mainstream on this and directly from Trump in the Oval Office. As much as I hate to play those clips, I think this one we kind of need to play. We'll play a little bit of it.
Reviving an old and familiar and rather tired tactic of accusing a perceived political enemy of treason. Only this time, the subject was his first-term predecessor, former President Barack Obama.
The leader of the gang was President Obama. He's guilty. It's not a question. I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election.
He made that baseless, unsubstantiated, rather ludicrous accusation today in the Oval Office. It follows baseless, unsubstantiated claims from his Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard said that President Obama's officials engaged in a, quote, seditious conspiracy and hid evidence that Russia did not interfere in the 2016 election. Donald Trump's claims today, an accusation of a crime that is punishable by death, so outrageous that they drew this rare rebuke from President Barack Obama's office. It reads, quote, out of respect for the office of the presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response. But these claims are outrageous enough to merit one. These bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. Nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes. These findings were affirmed in a 2020 report by the Bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee, led by then Chairman Marco Rubio. The very same Marco Rubio, little Marco to Donald, who currently serves as Trump's Secretary of State and National Security Advisor. His report concluded that Russia conducted an influence campaign in 2016 to do this, quote, harm the Clinton campaign, tarnish an expected Clinton presidential administration, help the Trump campaign after Trump became the presumptive Republican nominee, and undermine the U.S. democratic process. That conclusion was further bolstered earlier this month when Donald Trump's current CIA director, a man named John Ratcliffe, released a review that, as NBC News points out, quote, did not refute the findings of the intelligence assessment that Russia sought to interfere in the election. Now, as for these wild and erratic and unfounded attempts by Tulsi Gabbard and Donald Trump to rewrite their own version of history and provide a distraction from the Jeffrey Epstein debacle that has completely engulfed Donald Trump and his White House, they're claiming that the Obama administration concealed evidence that Russia did not try to manipulate votes. But that's Orwellian doublespeak. It's not what Obama's officials ever claimed in the first instance.
Bingo.
It was always about an influence campaign. Here was President Obama explaining it on December 16th, 2016.
I can assure the public that there was not the kind of tampering with the voting process that was of concern and will continue to be of concern going forward, that the votes that were cast were counted. They were counted appropriately. We have not seen evidence of machines being tampered with. So that assurance I can provide.
Yeah.
So what's the
That was
problem?
pretty good. That was amazing to me that they outlined it all right there. Right there.
Yeah, checkmate as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Checkmate. Agree, Jim. Agree. Agree. What do
Next
they
debacle.
have?
Now find another.
The thing is, who's going to hear that? Who's going to hear they're not going to play that on Fox.
I watch CNN too, so I heard it.
And
But
they
you know-
are human beings. They have the same access. If they still want, I need them not to screw up, but these people going to have to get right, but it's not going to hit them till it hit them. And it's going to have to hit us, unfortunately, while it's hitting them, but it's got to hit them.
And
Exactly.
that's
But
what's
one
going to
thing that I have to say is that the weakness of the approach of fighting back with these people is getting on my fucking nerves. I'm gonna have to be straight. Like, okay, yes, Obama, we don't have to worry about that. That is fine. They're fine. They got it. But like the weakness of these people, like look what happened with Cori Bush the other day. When all the Democrats walked out and he's sitting there talking, trying to say, I know you're a good man, Grassley. I know you're just such a great guy, and I know this isn't you. Like, nah, bitch, I'm pretty sure that's him. I'm pretty sure that he's an evildoer just by the way that they are not even listening to you talk right now. Like, I'm so tired of fighting this fight with like sparklers at the fucking barbecue or something. Like, what are we doing here? Like, there's no pushback, and Obama handled that, and I wish people would be more like that and just be like, nah, bitch, you got me fucked up.
Right.
And then go about your day. Fuck.
I've been waiting on Marley to say something.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm so mad. I think I'm speechless. I think I agree with May Money. I think that Obama handled it well. He's intelligent. He's got this. I don't think he should talk about it anymore. I think everybody should just focus on Epstein, and be on the lookout for behavior that can be that can start problems internationally, because he's caught. He knows he's caught, and he knows there's more coming.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with you, Marley, 100%. Yeah.
The thing that scares me, Marley, is he's been caught so many times. He's been convicted. He's been, it goes right back to I can shoot someone down dead on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. And
when he won, I almost fell out my chair.
I just don't know.
But guess what, Jim? Like, he won, and now he has this immunity, presidential immunity. But guess who else has presidential immunity?
It's people.
The president.
Obama.
That's
Right.
what I
Okay.
think.
So, like, I mean, they're just getting caught up in every single web
Right.
of lies that they've created. For
We know
themselves.
it's a distraction.
And we just gotta kind of trap them in their own detriment, I guess.
But I think his own
Can
people.
everybody
I
on
think
this
the proud.
panel repeat? I'm just trying to get everybody on this panel to say Epstein, Epstein,
Epstein,
Epstein.
Epstein.
Fuck that
Sweetheart
shit.
deal.
And fuck Donald
His
Trump.
lane.
Donald is
Isn't there some cracks happening with the Proud Boys or the Oath Keepers or something? I read somewhere or saw somewhere that they're pushing back hard on Trump as well because of the.
Good.
I'm hoping.
Well, I was trying to
Good.
pull the Fuentes.
Did anybody
clip.
else see that, or am I
No.
dreaming that?
There's some MAGA influencers who are really pushing back on this. And I don't
Fuentes,
think they're going to.
I watched it 3 times. I was so happy for the Nazi guy.
Yeah. But we also have to keep in mind this isn't just about.
I like
Obama,
Pitchforks and
right? They've
Dragons.
named-
I'll pitch in on that.
They've named several people in this, right? So you have Comey and Tapper and Clinton and the people who were around Obama at that time. So we have other people potentially at risk. You guys are still laughing.
I just feel
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at. Oh, Candyman.
That's what I was thinking about. I was listening to Keisha. It's Candyman.
Keisha,
You go in the
picked
mirror
up
in the
on it.
bedroom. Candyman, Candyman, Candyman.
Nah, don't be saying it.
Don't say Beetlejuice 3 times.
It just don't make no sense. I'm so insulted by it. I wanted to touch on this May Money because he loves attention so much. And I'm like, when they're in there and they're interviewing him, I want somebody to be like, you know what, sir, all due respect, that's a bunch of crap. You know it, and yet you expect me. And he's going to put him out and not going to answer it and call him horrible names. And then the next one needs to say, sir, he's right. It's a bunch of crap. Can you answer this? And they need to do it because when the room is empty, who's he going to put out?
They
And
definitely
he wants
need
the
to,
attention.
They've all capitulated,
make
the
a
ones that are in
team,
there.
and be like, oh no, oh, you kicked her out, but I'm next, bitch. I'm gonna ask you the same question.
Right.
Oh, then you kicked me out. Oh, I'm here next, bitch. I'm gonna ask you the same question.
Why won't they
And
listen to Don when he says that? Don has said that strategy so many times, and I'm like, can you hear him?
I
Because
call them
it's not what May said.
PABs.
They're weak. Like they should be banding together and supporting each other, but they're so scared of him.
A bunch of punk ass bitches. That's
They
what
went
it
to
is.
the
I'll
party.
go up in there.
Party
I'll
for
do it. I'll
Used
fucking
to have
answer anybody's
journalists with,
question.
running into the war and they're going to die. And I mean, poor Anderson Cooper for the first half of his life was in the trenches. You know what I mean? Everybody was doing everything. Now they like, I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Well, when you have big companies, media companies like CBS capitulating,
terrible.
We can't expect these others to not do that, and that's really extremely frustrating with what happened with CBS. Right?
It all comes down to
Um,
greed and the almighty dollar. I mean,
And-
it never
exactly.
changed. He said it. What's his name said it? Gordon Gekko. Greed is good, and that generation and that group, and they never got beyond that. And our society has not gotten beyond that, and it just becomes more true every day. And
Well,
it's
they
all
was
about
mad
money.
at They was mad at Stephen Colbert because he said that he wouldn't have paid them. He didn't agree with, and he said it on air. And the next thing you know, he didn't have a job.
And
Oh,
now
but
he's-
let's hear Colbert's response, shall we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Followed up their gracious press release with a gracious anonymous leak saying they pulled the plug on our show because of losses pegged between $40 million and $50 million a year. 40 million's a big number. I could see us losing $24 million, but where would Paramount have possibly spent the other 16 million? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I did right. I'll call you like that. Still, that's still a lot of money. I mean, where does the Late Show rank? Jim, what other companies lost that kind of money last year? Red Lobster? Damn it, I told them we should stop offering the audience unlimited shrimp. Maya, take it away. Take it away. So, with those numbers, I gotta say, it makes sense we'd be canceled. I get it, guys. And thanks again, okay? Thanks again to the network. In a completely unrelated story, on Friday, Donald Trump posted, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings." How dare you, sir? Would an untalented man be able to compose the following satirical witticism? Go f yourself.
I'm still here.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. The president went on, "I hear Jimmy Kimmel is next." Nope. No, absolutely not, Kimmel. I am the martyr, okay? Okay, there's only room for one on this cross, and I gotta tell you, the view is fantastic from up here. I can see your house. Look, I promise I'll have more to say about all of this after the commercial break over there.
I loved it.
I agree, Monique.
He's so good. I love that
I'm
dude.
gonna miss him.
Oh my god.
What's even better, just this little clip here, is look at all these late night hosts and comedians.
Oh, that
coming
was
together.
good.
I did see that.
I love this.
And he's going to land on his feet, and his people will land on their feet. But I tell you, it's the lower people I worry about.
These are some of the most powerful people
The
that in
200
the fight of for democracy and for like goodness in this country and everything that we hold dear. These are some of my favorite fucking people. It's always the funny people. They're so intelligent. They don't give a fuck about NoHo, and I love every single piece of it. I hope to be as powerful as those people someday.
They better not screw with my Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, they
Mama
plan
left
on
Jimmy.
it. It's coming. They plan on
Got to
it.
answer to Jim.
Well, to Underhill's point about what talk show host gets 8 months to go crazy, I have to wonder if CBS is going to have him cut off his show early because of how. Like,
Yeah, that's what he thought too. Well, or I thought he would just walk off early, but he won't get his contracted money. Again.
He cares about his workers. That's the only reason why.
He cares about his staff.
Yeah.
Hire
Yeah.
me,
It's
Steven.
200 people. 200.
Yeah.
That's 200
That's
folks
why-
that will be out of a job. If he comes over to streaming, he doesn't need that type of body.
Overhead.
That's right. I
overhead.
think he's gonna come, or he's gonna retire. I don't think he's gonna retire. He likes talking too much.
No, I don't think so. They have something in
No,
the works.
but-
And guess what, guys? He doesn't have to come to streaming. He can go to other places in order to
Absolutely.
have that.
Keep an eye.
type of-
Yeah,
Keep
but
an
I
eye
think
on Rachel
they're trying
Maddow. Keep an
to-
eye on Rachel Maddow.
What's going on?
Eye
Anybody
on
that's thinking
Rachel
against him,
Maddow. Yeah, she is going to, I think, pull something big.
I think they just all gonna build up YouTube.
What do you mean? In what way?
I think she's going to start her own network.
Like Oprah?
Mm-hmm.
Where has Oprah been in all this?
Do you have the inside scoop on this, Kim? You know Rachel
Oprah
Maddow?
and
You holding back that?
I have not. I have not.
Oprah.
I will put that out there. I have not verified that fact These are things I've been reading. So once I do my fact checking. So this is just what I've read. But once I do the fact checking, then I will bring that.
But Kim, you're onto something. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Whoopi was saying something today. No, yesterday. And she said, you know what? I'm gonna keep it to myself because I don't want the other side to hear. So that's what she was alluding to. So Kim, go ahead and find that fact check.
I'm going to fact check that, and we're going to put that out there. Please, Rachel. Please, Rachel. Please. Start a network. Right?
That would be amazing.
Already like 10.
Yeah.
I'm auditioning now to be one of the correspondents. And back to you, Rachel, in the office.
Yeah, Monique, I feel the same. I lost respect for her.
Jeff Bezos, May.
What wedding?
My son is boycotting Oprah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not watch a lot of stuff on CBS because I know that the other channels did it too. But when I guarantee, I can't prove it. So allegedly, I believe that Donald Trump said, I want that money and I want Stephen Colbert's head.
He did say that.
Yeah, he did.
He did say that. You believe
and they acquiesced to that? That's crazy.
Stephen Colbert is lightweight a gangster, bro. I don't think you want to go ahead and mess around with that dude. Like, he is a beloved person on this planet.
Like Jon Stewart.
I would leave that motherfucker alone.
They just turned him into a martyr.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they did.
They murdered him. Like, it's stupid.
Can we do a WTF?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stephen.
Well, WTF. All right. Here's a good WTF. Somebody want to read it?
House Republicans have advanced a proposal to rename the Kennedy Center.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's not enough that they destroyed Jackie Kennedy's Rose Garden. Now they want to besmirch the Kennedy Center with this bitch? No.
Kill him talk.
Yeah. It's horrible.
This bitch.
They don't know anything about the arts. They don't support the arts. No one's going to go to the Melania Trump Center anymore.
She's a kept woman.
They're going to end up
I think he worked out a deal with her. You stay put, honey.
She
can still be deported.
She a kept woman. You better put my name on something.
Damn,
She can still be
She's got all the arts. She's got crayons. She's got markers.
Now that I know your name is all over that pedophile list.
Yeah, but
sidewalk chalk.
Her, in all defense, her Be Best campaign. Look how much that has done for our world. I mean, come on. I can't. There's so much to talk about that campaign. I don't even know where to start.
All the kids that she's fed that were starving.
Yeah,
right.
All the bullies she extinguished. Everything.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Y'all making me cry.
I'd like not to lump the two of them together, but you have to because she has not shown any kind of. She's just as bad as he is, and then she's all mysterious with and always looking like she's just coming out to walk the runway or something. You can go back in now. We're good.
Remember, she was like, "Fuck Christmas."
Everything was red.
She's a prisoner of her own making, of her own grief.
Yeah,
and
and she doesn't give a fuck about literally
she was a beautiful woman, still is, and she could have had any man she wanted. She went for the cash, and along with that came the little tiny fingers and the little mushroom and the orange sheets, makeup on the sheets.
Money is the root to all evil.
I'm not even sure this motherfucker got money the way he say he does.
Money is the root to all evil.
What do you guys have? What is
That's what I'm saying. What y'all got? Puff?
Wait,
is that Donald?
I had a friend that had one of those rubbers.
There we go.
Shit up with your fucking toupee.
Wait, how do y'all both have this and like easily accessible?
We live in
They took him out one night.
I ran down to get mine.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. I debated whether we do the subject of the health. I don't know, but we have a nurse in our midst. So
Bring it on.
let's just touch on it a little bit. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Oh, what happened?
Medical exam for swelling in his legs and bruising on his hands. Brian Schrader in the WRL Live Center. What do we know about this condition, Brian?
Well, this is something that's been developing over the past few weeks, according to the White House. This is a picture from the Associated Press yesterday at a White House event. You can see where the president's ankle there clearly is swollen. Well, this is something that the White House medical staff took seriously, according to Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. And just about an hour ago, she said that they diagnosed him with a vascular condition. Bilateral blood to pool, and that's why the ankles are swelling. The treatment options range from lifestyle changes to medication, and in advanced serious cases, surgery. In itself, it's not a serious condition, and the White House says they did a battery of tests and indicated there are no systemic illnesses causing those swollen ankles and this condition. And it is common. About 150,000 people are diagnosed every year in this country. About the bruising on the hands, another thing that reporters have noticed, you can see makeup covering the president's hand yesterday. According to Caroline Leavitt, that is a result of frequent handshaking. Now, WRL's Grace Haba is going in depth on this condition. She'll have more coming up.
Oh, you think somebody could do a better makeup job?
He needs compression socks.
Anitra, this is a question for you because I've been running across these kinds of posts on social media ever since this was announced, right?
Yes.
RNs from cardiac units saying this is a lot more serious, right?
I agree.
So I want to stipulate you're not speaking as a nurse for the show, but just from
Right.
from your
my experience
background
and my education.
Yes. What do you think?
I say that he probably does have heart failure, something along that lines where he's retaining water and he needs to get a medicine. I'll try to say this in the layman's terms to diurese, which to make him go to the bathroom, run it through a system a little faster so they can get the water off of him because that can get you in your lungs and different things and cause your breathing and on and on. So the main thing is this. He's going to have to change his diet, take his medicine, and be his age a little bit and respect
I'm gonna
it.
need you to stop giving this motherfucker advice.
Advice?
First of
He's
all,
got
Cankles
access to the
he
best.
gotta
He's not
go.
going to take it. So
I
it's
need
all
them
about
Cankles to do what they do, okay? He
He's
gotta
eating
get
too
to
much
work.
sodium. Is he eating too much sodium?
Well, that's
His blood
probably part
pressure
of
probably
it. It
high.
could be blood pressure, but the main thing is that it's a pump. The heart's a pump,
Mhm.
and he's not pumping it like it is and getting rid of it like he's supposed to. So
Because of all
he has too
those
much
lies.
water.
The lies are catching up to him. That's
It
what's
ain't nothing
pumping.
but that's what it is. It's karma coming back, and then
No,
you don't want to eat
Too
right
much
and stuff.
handshaking. It's too much
And
handshaking.
That's
Well,
BS.
I didn't know you could stay too long in and get that kind of infection unless your friends were infected.
So
she said,
And when someone's at a wedding, they're shaking hands. Nobody complain about their hands, and you shake over 100 guests at your damn wedding. So cut the BS. All right, let's
Yeah.
just keep it 100. Lies.
Is that more about
I
IV?
didn't have that problem.
Could that be
Even the
more
damn
IV?
dog is pissed about that shit.
Anitra? On his hand, is the explanation probably more IV related? That he's getting IV, or is it really handshaking, as they're saying?
I don't think it's handshaking. I think it's some kind of dermatitis or something, or internal. The only thing I know that affects hands is latent syphilis, but it's usually on the palms. So his is on the back of his hands, but I don't know what that is. But something is wrong, and if they were doing IVs, they could start an IV. They have access to where they wouldn't have to put it on his hands. He's got other
But
access
it was
places.
equally. Could you put that picture back up, Kim? Because the patch, it looked like it was a patch there. Let's cut the
Yeah,
BS.
it was a
A patch. It does look like that.
Let's go back to the tape. All right. Thank you.
Oh,
Kim.
you know what? I
Yeah.
took it off.
Okay, no problem. But
Go
there was
ahead
a
and
patch,
talk. I
all
can roll
right,
it
it was a patch because that square was
patch?
evenly. It was evenly lined up.
Makeup didn't look
I'm gonna
right.
be all
the
over
other
this
day.
because I hate
No,
the
it
bullshit.
didn't. They weren't even trying.
No, they weren't.
But whatever it is, he should have somebody to have fixed it by now. So whatever it is, it's chronic.
Some dirty coochies.
Well, and it's harder as you age, right? Too, if you don't take care of yourself.
Yes.
Bro, those ankles is on a mission.
And when it's in your ankles like that, it could be in his belly. It could be, and then when he lays down, all that fluid goes up by his heart.
I'm glad
Well, he doesn't sleep at night, so there's nothing going to his heart. It's over that table.
where his hands been.
You guys
This is getting rated R. I'm sorry, X.
I'm
I
sorry,
feel like
Kim, we
somehow
lost
May
it.
Money's like weed smoke has gotten to all of us.
Yeah.
The computer.
By the end of the show, we all crazy.
Hey, these ankles though, they are out here doing the Lord's work. Okay.
Well, he's not. The thing is, it's up to him, and he's not going to be compliant.
Anitra
All
trying to give
right.
us the medical term on it, and we're just all clowning his ass. I'm sorry. Anitra.
I love you
We
guys.
are all sitting here clowning. And you
Well,
trying
I
be
have to
so
treat him no
medically
matter what as a
professional.
nurse, but I'll be,
You trying to be medically
I'll be like,
professional,
Donald, you might
and
not
we're
want
clowning.
me.
God, you guys are funny today.
My stomach hurt.
Well, we got to laugh
Okay,
about
well,
it
we
because
have-
it's so tragic.
Yeah, it is. It's
True.
actually. It's all tragic. So in 4 minutes, you know, I always like to end on something a little more positive or talk about what can we do. And I listened to this podcast with, you know, one of my favorites is HRC, Heather Cox Richardson. And this is with David Pakman, but she said something here that I thought would be nice to share with everybody.
Being said, so I'm going to change the equation a little bit and say that in this moment, when we have the population distribution the way we do, this is the moment where people like me, especially older white women, who are the least likely to be attacked by ICE, for example, should be standing up for those people and are standing up for those people. And this is the advice I often give to young Black men or young men of color when they say they feel like they should be out in the streets. And my answer to that is only if you let people like me go in front of you, because this is our time to reinforce those things that we believe in. And absolutely, we need all hands on deck. But the thing that I try and do is get people like me out to show solidarity and to be out in front, because we are the ones who have the least to lose in some ways. And I don't mean to limit that just to older white women. We need older white men out there too, but we need a lot of them. Because again, one of the tricks that authoritarians use, especially in countries like the United States that has a long history of racial conflict, is they look at people of color, especially young people of color or Black Americans, and call them communists or suggest that they are gang members or that they are somehow anti-American. It's a lot harder to look at somebody like me or somebody who's in a wheelchair or somebody who's 90 and say, that's it, you're about to knock over a bank. So yes, we do need people to stand up in those areas, but we also need people like me to stand up. And I think you're seeing it. I think that's one of the things that was so important about the No Kings rally, is that a lot of those rallies were in Republican-dominated states and small towns, and they were older white people. And so, you know, it's a funny movement in this moment, because so often we think of movements, we think of the civil rights movement in its latest phases, where it was really driven primarily by young Black women and young Black men. This might be a movement that needs to be driven by older white people. And, you know, it's our time.
It is our time. And that's the
I
call out.
agree.
We've talked about this before. And it really hit home with me, because it's like, that's how I feel, right? I feel so calling out to white older women and calling out to white older men. It's like, come on, we got to continue speaking up. We have to continue speaking out. We have to continue to call the bullshit. we have to just continue.
And I have a surprise for you all.
Mhm.
A dear fan and follower of the show just stopped in and wants to say hello and goodbye. Unfortunately, he's leaving my area and he will be blessing the people of Florida. Will is back.
Hi, Will.
How are you?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Absolutely. So we miss you on the show. So where are you heading?
I am heading to St. Augustine, Florida. Very red.
That sounds unfortunate.
That's what I said. I ain't coming to visit. Either go back to New York or you stay here in Virginia.
You can come hang out with me on this side in the West where we be chilling.
Well, you can still listen to us at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
That's right.
As Andrea said.
I love her.
And you can still join us.
That's right.
No, you really should though. We want you to join us. Actually, I've been asking about you, bro.
And you know, May has her own show going out there now too, the Millennium Gaze, and she's got a lot of followers, and it's really taking off. And you should touch base with her.
Join us.
Kudos to you for
That'd be
that.
a great one. Yeah,
And especially being in Florida with all that.
Oh Lord, it's definitely different. You know, going back home in that area, there's a lot of Trumpies.
No. Honestly, Will, though, I really want to know about what you think about your state right now, because as a native born Oakland, Californian, like I've never lived anywhere else. I've traveled the world, but I always come back to where I'm from.
Mhm.
And honestly, I'm afraid to go to Florida. I ain't gonna hold you. And like I really want to, like, I know there are good people out there.
Don't be afraid,
Like,
honey.
you don't
Out
hear
there,
your
Alcatraz
voices, and
Alley, you
I
gotta
really
get us
do
all
believe-
eventually.
I really do believe that we need more like good voices like yourself to like make Florida feel a little bit safer for people that have never been there to go to. Because honestly, why the fuck would I go out there? There's no reason for me to go out there. You got hurricanes, racism, and fucking alligators. Okay, like and mosquitoes. I'm not down with none of that shit.
He not going no more, May Money.
Okay.
So, Will, let's hear from you.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things that I've learned as I've gotten older and I've gotten to leave the state is that there is a lot of good people in the state. I just think there's such a fear of speaking out in those places because there's such a dominant force by the Republican-controlled government. So, for example, Ron DeSantis, he's awful, but that's a whole nother conversation. But he's so like in your throat about everything, and his followers do the same thing to their friends, to the point where people that have a different opinion, because there is a lot of people that have different opinions than him, and there's a lot of liberal people in Florida, believe it or not, especially concentrated in the cities. But there's such a fear of speaking out because you don't know what these Republicans in Florida are going to do. I mean, they've shot people for less, and it's super scary to say that, but it's true.
And they still had a stand your ground law.
Yeah, you know, there was once something that they posted, like if there's any protest or something like that, you have the right to run them over as self-defense. In
That's
Florida,
right, Jazzy.
Yeah.
Can I just keep it a beam?
Yeah.
I think y'all need to take a little bit of a page out of Oakland's book. We don't play that shit. We don't do that. We don't entertain that shit. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to come up to anybody in any of my neighborhood right now on that, you're gonna fuck around and find out that it was the wrong decision. Y'all need to start like getting it all, you know. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That is not okay because
Right.
they're pulling up physically attacking you. You have a straight up concentration camp in your fucking state. That is not good. Okay.
Y'all better
And
get a lot of
mamas, bro. Y'all might want to start like getting a little active up in this bitch. I ain't gonna hold you, but
No, it's true.
I mean, that's on y'all.
It's true, and it's super scary too. I've been
They
reading
don't come
reports.
over here to Oakland Donald Trump, that motherfucker, mentioned us one time nationally, and he never mentioned us again. You know why? Because we was like, oh, you got something to say? Pull that shit up over here. See what the fuck happened. And they never mentioned us again. And I promise you, the ICE agents, they don't come over here. And why? Because
Ain't
we
nobody
don't
coming to Oakland with no ice.
Okay, they scared.
No, but I did hear.
That
I
is
did
a
hear he
horrible
was about to drop a bunker.
But y'all need
buster
to
on
y'all need
Oakland.
to
All right,
protect yourself. It's so easy. These people are cowards. You don't even have to be violent. You just
Okay,
have
guys.
to just have some force against and pushback.
Sorry, May Money. We're at the bottom of the hour.
Oh,
We just
sorry,
want to
guys.
leave on a nice note, and May Money is fired up, and we all need to be fired up and stand up for the bullshit. We're ready for it. But we got to
All
leave
right.
on a positive note. We have to. So, Kim, you want to do round robin, or you have something else for it?
I think we'll close out today. I did see a comment come through that they were saying Trump just gave a speech.
Correct.
That was pretty off the rails. Was that just recent?
Yes, that is correct. I'm putting
Okay.
it back up.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go out and take a look at that. It could be content for Friday. So
definitely.
thank you everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate you.
I
We got the 13
baby right now.
Yeah, Wednesdays and Fridays, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern, and then May, Katie, and hopefully Will, the Millennial Gaze on Mondays at 4:30. I know Keisha, you join as well. So yes. Yeah, so Millennial Gaze, they're on fire on Mondays. So join them, watch them. And
Thank you, Jay-Z.
Like, share,
and we love you. You guys,
subscribe.
yeah, like, share, subscribe, and everybody hang in there. Hang in there. We just
Hey,
got to stay
Lindy.
together. All right. We love you.
guys.
Unite.
Bye.
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 We the people unite.